Okay, so come right up to the front edge of your chair. Have your feet on the floor, right underneath your knees. We're just going to start by doing a little bit of breathing. So if you want to close your eyes, breathing in, breathing out. Just notice your breath this morning. And see if you can take some nice deep breaths just to let yourself settle. So nice deep inhalation and complete exhalation. And as you inhale, notice what's happening in your body. So can you feel, does your body expand or does it contract? In other words, when you take a breath in, does your belly move out? Does your rib cage move out? Or does your belly and your rib cage move in? And likewise, when you exhale, do you feel your belly expand or contract? Do you feel your rib cage expand or contract? So we're just kind of noticing what is, just noticing what is normal for you. And now let your breath begin to deepen, and as you inhale, see if you can allow your body to fill like a balloon, so you feel your belly and your rib cage expand. And as you exhale, it's like the air being let out of a balloon, so you feel your belly and your rib cage contract. So it's a little more intentional, a little more purposeful. As you inhale, your belly expands, your rib cage expands. As you exhale, your belly contracts and your rib cage contracts. As you inhale, your belly and your rib cage expand, and as you exhale, your belly and your rib cage contract. Let's take a couple more of these nice full deep breaths, expanding and contracting. And the next time that you inhale, when you get to the top of the inhalation, hold your breath. And then see if you can take in a little more air. And then how slowly can you exhale? And we'll do that again. So take in a deep breath and hold. And then see if you can take in a little bit more breath. And then see how slowly you can exhale. And when you get to the end of that exhalation, just go back to your natural breath. Feel the air moving in and out. And you can let your eyes open. Good. And then we'll start with a little bit of movement for the fingers. So just taking your hands off your lap, we're just going to squeeze and extend all the fingers, all the digits here. So as you extend, we're going to call that a starfish. So it's like you're trying to get your thumbs and your little fingers far away from one another. And then we're going to go to a bear claw. So you're making like a little claw with your fingers. And then we're going to go to a fist. So that's the whole movement. So we go from a starfish to a bear claw to a fist. A starfish, a bear claw, and a fist. And just breathe as you're doing this, right? And see if you can relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, relax your neck, right? So we're just doing this movement for the fingers. And then come to a starfish and hold here. So we're in this starfish position. And we're going to try and touch the thumbs to the base of each finger, right? So we're going to try and take the thumb to the base of the first finger, and then the base of the second finger, third finger, and fourth finger. So keep your fingers extended, and you're just touching the base of the fingers, right? Okay. And now we're going to see if we can touch the thumbs to the middle knuckle of each finger, and try not to bend your fingers as you do that. So you're keeping your fingers straight. So we're going to the middle knuckle of the fingers, and we're just going up the scale and down the scale, basically, right? And breathe as you do. Okay, and now we're going to get the thumbs to touch as far out on the fingers as you can, again, without bending the fingers, right? So you want to keep your fingers long, and then see how far out the finger we can get the thumbs. And again, you're going up and down the scale. So you're going from first finger all the way to baby finger, and then back again, right? And you're breathing as you're doing this, and you're unclenching your jaw. So it makes it more fun, right? Okay. All right. And the next time you finish with your thumb on your first finger, we're going to stop there and then just circle your thumbs around and relax your shoulders. Whew, so drop your arms down a little bit. And then relax your thumbs and circle just your first fingers. So just the pointer finger, right? And then just your second finger, your swear finger, right? Right? Isn't that what that's called? Yeah, it's your swear finger. And then your ring finger. You'll notice they don't circle so much, right? When they're in that middle range. And then the last finger, the baby finger. Right? The pointer really knows how to circle well. The baby can circle a little bit, but those two middle guys, they don't know what that's all about. And then just kind of shake that out. Okay, let's circle the wrists. Let's see if you can make some nice big circles here. And then with your palms down, we're just going to go side to side. So we're getting some wrist movement here, a little wrist action there. And then up and down, good. Okay, let's stretch out the hands and fingers a little bit. So take your right hand, so you're going to bring the palm away from you, pull back on your fingers, keep a little bend in your elbow here, right? So we're just kind of pulling back on that. And then release your fingers, and you're going to turn your palm down. And again, your palm is facing away from you on that right side. And as you pull back on these fingers, I'm going to ask you to straighten your elbow. So you bring the hand kind of down a little bit here, right? Try not to get the shoulder way up here. We're just relaxing the shoulder down a little bit too. So we're stretching up into the forearm, up around the elbow, up above the elbow. Good. And then release that. Take your left hand, palm away from you. You're going to pull back on your fingers. A little bend in the elbow is fine. It's good. We're just pulling back, breathing as you're doing all this. So that's the only requirement, is that you keep breathing, right? We have a built-in fail-safe for that. So if you hold your breath too long, you'll pass out, right? Because your brain is like, well, if you're not smart enough to take a breath, we're just going to knock you out so that we can do it. And then you can release that, turn your fingers down toward the floor. So again, your palm is facing away from you. You're going to pull back on your fingers and straighten that elbow as best you can. So some people are not going to get the elbow totally straight, and that's fine. Some people, if you hyperextend, so if the elbow starts to bend backwards a little bit, I'm going to ask you to not bend quite that, or not straighten quite that hard. Okay? So you want to get like to as straight as you can without hyperextending. If your arm's way up here, drop it down. Good. Take another breath. Excellent. Release that circle a little bit here again. So we got the fingers, we got the hands, we got the wrists all worked out. Let's bring the arms down by the sides, and we're just going to do a little tap. So warming up the elbows, breathing in and breathing out. This should be a fairly easy, relatively comfortable movement for most of us, right? If you can't tap your shoulder completely, that's all right. Just come up as best you can. And the next time that you tap your shoulder, instead of going back down, we're going to go up overhead. And then we're going to go down. So we're just adding, right? So we go up to the shoulder, up, 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 and then down. And I'm just going to slow it down a little bit here because I want to make sure I'm getting my full range of movement. When I lift, I want to really lift. And when I come down, I want to reach. Good. Okay, we're going to add on to this. So after you reach up, when your hands come down, instead of going down, we're going to go out to the sides. And then we're going to go down. Okay? So we go up and out to the sides and down. And we're breathing the whole time. And then we go up. Whoo, and we go out to the sides. And then we go down. Good. Up. Excellent. Out to the sides. And then down. And one more time all the way through. Up. Out to the sides. And down. Great. Let's bring the hands back to the shoulders. Arms come out at 90 degrees from the body. And we're just going to extend out and bend in. So we're keeping the upper arm stable. We're not moving the upper arm up and down. We're keeping it in this nice stable position. Great. And then the next time that you have your hands in, we're going to hold here and we're just going to extend the right. And then we're going to switch. Okay? So we're just going from side to side, keeping that upper arm on both sides nice and stable and steady. Great. And then let's see if we can get both hands into the shoulders, come all the way down. Bring your hands forward so the palms of your hands are up, and we're going to kind of spread the hands out and then come back. And spread the hands out and come back. So we're getting some rotation up here in the top of the arm bone, right into that shoulder joint. Right? Great. And the next time that you come out to the side, you're going to hold here, and we're going to go out to the sides and then back in. Go out to the sides and back in. And breathe as you're doing this. So we're going out and in. We're inhaling and exhaling. Great. Next time your arms are out, let's hold them here. We're going to bring the palms forward as we bend the elbows. So relax your shoulder tops away from your ears, and we're going to go down and up. Right? So keep the upper arms lifted, and we're just going down and up. Excellent. All right, let's see if we can keep the right arm up and bring the left arm down, and then switch. So we're just switching and then switching. Good, and breathing as we do. Great. One more time, each side, and then lower the arms all the way down. Take a breath. Notice your shoulders. Give them a little circle there. Let's take that right arm and let's circle the elbow now. So going up and around, nice big circles on that right side, doing the best you can. So if you're working with a shoulder limitation or arm limitation here and you can't get your elbow all the way up, just do the best you can. And then the next time that your elbow is down toward the floor, you're going to switch direction, so go the other way. Right? So going the other way here. Good. Excellent. And then let's see if we can make a figure 8. So you're making a nice big 8 here. Right. Excellent. And then relax that arm. We're going to go to the left side. So nice big circles with that left. Breathing in and breathing out. Nice big circles. Next time your elbow is down toward the floor, reverse direction, so going the other way. Nice big circles. Good. And then a figure 8 here. So nice big figure 8. All right, one more 8. Can you do one more 8? Up and around. And relax all of that. Good. Let's roll those shoulders a couple times. So we have things fairly warmed up from the fingers all the way to the shoulders. Doing some discrete movements, so just some movement for the elbow, just some movement for the shoulder. We're going to get a little more complex in our movement now, involving a bunch of different joints. So if you take your right hand out to the side with your palm facing away from you, it's kind of that stop on the side. We're just going to bring that arm up overhead if you can. Bend your elbow and then see if you can get the palm of your hand to your face with your thumb facing forward. Right, so like you could put your thumb in your eye, but don't do that. And then come up and all the way down. So you'll feel that it's not this, right? So we don't have the palm like this. We got to get the palm in this really kind of rotated position. And it's because we need to access the rotation we have in the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, and the hand all at the same time. So once again, arm out to the side in that stop position, up overhead. Bend the elbow, palm of the hand to your face. Good. Up and down. And just one more time. Again, just kind of getting that more complex movement here. Up. Beautiful job, everybody. And then down. Good. Let's go right to the other side. So let's start with the left. It's like you're saying stop on this side, going up. Bend the elbow, palm of the hand to your face. Up and down. Nice slow breaths here. Good. Bending the elbow. Great. Good. And last time, I can tell you guys have been practicing this. And down. All right, well, since that was so easy for you, let's make it a little more challenging. So we're going to go out to the side with the right, but instead of the palm being away, we're going to touch the thumb and the first finger together, right? Like you're saying okay. So we get that right arm out here in that okay position. We're going to come up overhead. Bend your elbow. See if you can get the palm of your hand on your face and your thumb and forefinger around your eye like a little spyglass. So it's not like that, because that's, if it's really easy, you're probably doing this. It should be a little challenging and have the thumb like that. So the palm of your hand is on the face, but we've got a little spyglass there too. That looks good. And then up and come all the way back down. All right, let's try that again. So come out to the side with your thumb and your forefinger together in the okay sign. Go up overhead. So the palm of your hand is reaching up toward the ceiling. And then when you come down, the palm of your hand goes right on your face. And you get your little spyglass, right? So look around and make sure everybody else is doing it right. Right? And so if they're not doing it right, you're showing them how to do it. Right? This is the way we do it. Okay. And then, I know, with glasses it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, you get your fingerprints all over your glasses. So take your glasses off unless you can't see, and then, I don't know. There you go. So take your, let's see, what are we doing over here? We're doing the right side, left side. Left side, yes, okay. So you're gonna take your thumb and your first finger together, and we're gonna go up overhead. Good, good, good. Bend your elbow, see if you can do it on this side. Maybe it's easier on this side. Maybe it's harder on this side, right? There you go, you guys got this. One more time over here, right? Going up and the elbow. See if you can get the palm of the hand. So again, this is requiring, can you feel the twist in your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, your hand? It's like everything has to twist. And then come up overhead. I know, right? It's kind of crazy what we're doing here. All right. So was it different on one side than the other? Yeah. So one side is like better able to manage this kind of thing, and the other side is like not really sure what to do. So let's see if maybe we can help train the non-dominant side by doing it at the same time. So if you take your thumbs and your first fingers together, so it's a double okay. You're going to come out to the sides, right? You're going to go up overhead, bend your elbows, and then see if you can make eyeglasses. Right? Oh boy. And then look out there. Right? Look around at everybody, right? We're all wearing our Halloween masks. Good. You guys look really funny. And then we'll release that. Oh, Excellent. Let's roll those shoulders. So again, that's a really, it's fun, but it's also a very complex movement for all of our joints and all of our tissues to do, from our fingers all the way up to our shoulders. There's all this rotation and movement and extension that has to happen in order to get us there. So we can have fun and work our bodies in some really interesting ways. So take your hands together in front, and we're going to call this 12 o'clock. So if you're holding 12 o'clock with your shoulders, I'm going to ask you to drop your shoulders down. I want you to hold 12 o'clock with your arms. Okay? So from here, all we're going to do is we're going to keep the left hand at 12, and we're going to take the right hand out to 3, and then back to 12. That's it. We're just kind of warming it up, right? So if when you're doing this, you're feeling it up here, I want you to drop your arms down a little bit. Okay? Now, as you're reaching out, I want you to reach through your fingers, so you're lengthening that arm. And the next time that you get to 3 o'clock, we're going to hold here at 3 o'clock for a moment, right? So we've got 12 o'clock on the left, and we got 3 o'clock on the right. And then see if you can go to maybe 3:15 or 3:30. And maybe you can go to 4 o'clock, right? So we're just kind of getting it open. Maybe some people can even get to 4:30, right? And then all the way back. And breathe. So we'll do that again. We're just bringing that arm out to the side to 3, maybe to 3:30, to 4, to 4:30, and all the way back. Good. Okay. This time we're going to come out as far as we can, wherever that is, and then we're going to do a little additional thing. So I'm going to have you hold a little bit longer here. So we're going to take that hand out to 3, to 4, maybe to 5. So we're just kind of holding here. Now we're going to try and get that arm as close to 6 o'clock as we can, but we're going to do it by using our bodies as well. So keep this left hand at 12 and twist your body to try and get that other arm out to 6 o'clock. And breathe. And then slowly come all the way back. Great job. Drop your arms for a moment, close your eyes, take a couple of breaths in and out, and just kind of notice. And let your eyes open. We're going to bring the hands back to 12 o'clock. So now the right arm gets to rest at 12, and the left arm is going to be moving. So we're going to take that left arm, and we're going to go out to 9 o'clock, right? So we're just doing this movement from 9 to 12, just a few times, just to get the body used to this movement, get the shoulder used to it. Again, if you're feeling it right here, I want you to drop the arm lower. So I want you to feel it more in your arm. That's where the movement is happening, right? Okay. So the next time you get out to 9 o'clock, can you go to like 8:45, 8:30, 8 o'clock, somewhere around there, right? And then back. So we're really gradually opening things up, and we're not twisting the body yet. We're just doing this with the arm, right? So trying to get a little bit more space in the chest. Good, and we're getting out maybe 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock-ish. And again, not twisting the body quite yet. Great. Excellent. All right, and now the next time that you're out there with that arm, whether you're at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock or somewhere around there, we're going to shoot for 6 o'clock again by twisting the body, trying to get that arm out to that 6 o'clock position. So you got the right arm at 12, you got the left arm headed towards 6. And if you're at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, that's fine, wherever you're at. Keep breathing. And then slowly come back. Whew, let's drop the arms down to the lap, close your eyes, take a couple of breaths in and out, and just kind of notice. Notice the right side, notice the left side. Let's roll those shoulders up and around and down. Open your eyes. So now that we've done all that shoulder work, your neck might be a little tense, right, from all of that. So let's do some yeses. So nice, slow yes movement. Lifting and lowering, breathing in and breathing out. And the next time you come through the middle, do a slow no. So over the right shoulder, over the left shoulder. When you get your chin over one shoulder, I want you to just give it an extra little twist there, right? So see if you can get a little extra on the end. I'm all the way to the end, I hold, and then I give a little extra twist. And you might notice, oh, it feels better, easier going in one direction than the other direction. Okay, and then the next time that your head is back to the center, we're going to hold there. And we're just going to bring the right shoulder up to the ear and then down, and left shoulder up to the ear and down. So we're just going to go from side to side. So left shoulder and right shoulder, or right shoulder and left shoulder. And the next time you have your right shoulder up toward your right ear, you're going to hold it there. And then see if you can get your right ear down onto your shoulder. So can you get your shoulder and your ear really close together? Almost like you're trying to pinch like a piece of paper between your ear and your shoulder. And then release that, come back to center. Let's go the other side. So bring the shoulder up, bring the ear to the shoulder. Again, it's like you're trying to get that piece of paper. You're trying to squeeze a piece of paper between your ear and your shoulder. And then slowly lower that down. Let's go back to the first side. So we're squeezing, squeezing, and lower down, and then left side. Good, and lower down. Great. Take your hands up, give your shoulder tops a little bit of a massage. Maybe move your head around a little bit. All right, and then we're just going to relax the upper body a bit. We're going to take a chance to look down at our feet this morning. How are the feet going this morning? Did you remember to bring them with you? Good. Okay, because we're going to need them today. So keeping the soles of the tripods of your feet on the floor. So your heels, your big toe knuckles, and your little toe knuckles. We're just going to lift and lower all the toes. So we're lifting and lowering all the toes. And notice how easily they lift, or maybe not so easily. Okay, and then keeping the tripods down, keeping all the little toes down, we're going to lift and lower just the bigs. Lift and lower just the bigs. And breathe in and out as you're doing that. So all the little toes are down on the floor. It's just the big toes that are lifting. And then keep your big toes down on the floor. And we're going to lift and lower all the little toes. So the big toes stay down on the floor. And the little toes are lifting and lowering, right? So if you need a little assist, you can reach down there, push into your big toes. Lift and lower just the littles. Good. Great concentration this morning. All right. All right, and then lift all the toes up. So we've got the tripods down, right? So this part of your foot stays on the floor. We're just lifting the toes. And now let's lower and lift just the big toes. So all the little toes stay lifted. Again, if you're having difficulty keeping the little toes up, just reach under your little toes, put your fingers there, and keep them elevated off the floor, right? And you might notice one foot, it's easier to do this with one foot than the other. Okay, lift everybody up. We're going to hold the big toes up now and lower and lift all the littles. Right? Lower and lift all the littles. And again, just notice the relative ease or difficulty you have doing this movement. Okay, and then relax all of that down. Take a breath, because I know there was at least a little bit of breath holding going on. Okay, so let's make it a little more challenging, a little more interesting. So keeping your tripods down, again, just for reference, that's the big toe knuckle, the little toe knuckle, and the heel. So we're keeping the tripods down on the floor. We're going to lift the right big toe and the left little toes. And then we're going to lower everybody down. Okay? So we're going to lift the right little toes and the left big toe. And lower down. I know, it's challenging, right? So right big toe lifts, left littles lift. And lower down. It's almost impossible until it's not. Right? Right littles lift, left big lifts. And lower down. Good job, everybody. Let's try that just one more time. So right big, left littles. And down. Right littles, left big. And down. Okay, so again, just sort of noticing, was that relatively easy? Was that relatively difficult? Was it easier on one side, harder on one side? You know, kind of all those things that we kind of assess. So let's do this. Keep your tripods down. Lift all your toes up. And now we're going to lower the right big and the left littles. But keep the others all lifted. Right? Okay. So lift everybody up. And now we're going to lower the right littles and the left big. And breathe and lift. Lower the right big and the left littles. And lift. And lower the right littles and the left big. And lift. Good job, everybody. So keep everybody lifted up. Spread them out nice and wide. See if you can put your toes down one at a time, starting with your baby toes. So the baby toes come down, and then the second one comes down, and then the third one comes down, going all the way to the bigs. Right? You got them all down? Okay. Now see if you can lift them one at a time, starting with your bigs. So the big comes up, the second one comes up, the third one comes up, the fourth one comes up, all the way to the baby. All right, let's see if we can let's see if we can do that and breathe at the same time. That would be fun. So we've got all the toes lifted. We'll spread them out nice and wide. We're going to lay them down one at a time, starting with the baby toe. So baby toes go down, then the next one comes down, the next one, all the way to the bigs. Right? So you got everybody on the floor now. Now we're going to lift one at a time, starting with the bigs and ending with the babies. So lift the bigs, and then the next one, the next one, the next one, until we get the babies off the floor. So everybody should be in lift position now, right? So we got lift position. So was that relatively easy? Yeah? No? Okay. So spread your toes out nice and wide. See if you can place your bigs down and your babies down, but none of your middles. That's my favorite one. That's the hardest. Yeah, that's the one that will, if you didn't feel a cramp in your foot before, this is the one that'll do it. And then relax all of that for a moment, right? That one, we do that one last for a reason, right? Because it is the hardest. It requires the most effort from the muscles in the bottom of your foot that create your arch, right? So you got 3 different locations for the arch muscles. You've got one here on the inside. That's the one when I say the arch, everybody goes, oh yeah, right here. But you have an arch in here. That's your medial arch. You have an arch out here. That's your lateral arch. And then you have an arch that goes across this way. That's your transverse arch. When we lift everything up and then place just the bigs and the babies down, we are working that transverse arch, and that's the one that really is the powerhouse. So let's lift all of the toes, spread them out. We're going to try that again. Bigs and babies, and none of the middles. Good job, everybody. Relax that. All right, little Barbie foot on the right, little Barbie foot on the left, so we'll go back and forth. These little toe exercises, they seem so trivial, but they're so important for our balance and our power, right? So I talk about this a lot. Let's do one more time on each side. So we work a lot on strength, right? Especially as we age. We have all heard, right? We lose strength. We got to keep our, we got to build strength as we age. We got to build strength, build strength. But the thing that we sometimes forget is our power. And we actually lose power before we lose strength. Power is just strength over time, basically, right? So the power in my big toe is what propels me forward when I walk. It's also what stops me when I'm going to stumble. So if I don't have power in that big toe, I'm more susceptible to falls. It doesn't matter how strong my legs are. If I don't have power in my big toe, I'm still going to go over. So as trivial as these exercises seem, they're really important to build your foundation. And the really cool thing about it is you can do them anywhere. Any place you can take your shoes off. When you're watching TV, you can do them in bed at night if you're reading, right? Do some toe mobility exercises while you're in bed. Do it while you're having dinner. If you're a passenger in the car, slip your shoe off and do it then. There's like all kinds of places that we can kind of incorporate this. Yeah. Oh, you need me to record it for you? Okay. I think it's on cable TV, so yeah, so you can download that. Okay, so let's take the heels to the floor. So you get your legs extended just a little bit, and we're just going to squeeze and extend the toes now. So we got them all going at the same time, right? So think about your toes, what we're doing with the toes, like with the starfish and the fist, right? So we're doing the starfish. You're extending your toes and spread them out really wide, and then you're squeezing the toes, right? So extending and squeezing. And extending and squeezing. So if you do that with your hands near your feet, like sort of looking at the two of them, you can see how your fingers spread way out. Wouldn't that be amazing if you could get your toes to spread out like that? They can. They can if you work on it. So you're trying to get your toes to have that same kind of splay that your fingers do. Okay, bring the sole of your left foot to the floor, and we're just going to point and flex the right ankle. Get some movement in there. Nice, I hear a little music out there, little ankle music. And then let's circle, circle, circle. Good, and try and circle just your ankle, so keep your legs still. In other words, you don't want to have your leg moving all around. And then reverse. Good, and then that foot comes to the floor. Same thing on the other side, so it's just a point and flex. You can tap, tap, toes, tap, tap, heels. And then a circle, circle, circle. Again, it's just the ankle that we're circling from. It's not the knee or the hip. And reverse. Great. Bring that foot to the floor. Excellent. So we've got the toes warmed up. We've got the ankles warmed up. Let's get the knees warmed up. So we're just going to take that right knee and just extend and bend. Nice and slow. This is a great movement to do if you've got, you've had knee surgery or you've had a knee injury. We're just kind of getting that movement going nice and slow in there. Knees are noisy, so if you hear like snapping or cracking, as long as you don't have pain, a lot of times you'll hear that little crinkly noise. Anybody got crinkly knees? Yeah, that's really normal. It's actually got its own name. It's called crepitus. It sounds terrible, but it's not. So it's very normal. The next time that you extend your leg, you're going to hold here and breathe. So we've got these muscles really strong in this leg, right? You're squeezing the muscles in the thigh as best you can. You can hold onto your chair if it feels like your back is getting a little bit too much here. And then see if you can lift your leg a little higher. Oh, and smile. Yeah, your quads, right? They should be on fire, right? If they're not on fire, they're getting warmer. Yeah. Maybe they're shaking. Yeah, okay, good, good, good. And then let's see if we can slowly lower that leg down. Keep the knee straight as you lower down. Very nice. Bend that knee. Give that thigh a thank you massage. That's very nice. That's so good for your knees, right? It's maybe doesn't feel great. Your thigh is like, wow, that's really working hard, but it's so good for your knees to do that kind of movement. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Right foot is on the floor, giving a little bit of support, and we're just bending and extending. Nice and slow. So when you bend, I didn't say this on the other side. When you bend, I want you to pull your heel underneath your chair, like you could tap the bottom of your chair with your heel. So we're bending and extending. Good. And when you extend, you're also really engaging the muscles here in the thigh. Next time you extend, you're going to hold and breathe. And you can hold onto your chair a little bit here, especially if you feel like your back is starting to get tweaked a little bit here. And then see if you can lift a little higher. Whew, and keep breathing, right? So smiles are optional but desired. I like to see you smile. So we keep breathing and we keep holding. Good, good. And then nice and slowly we're going to lower down. Good. Give that knee a little bend. A thank you massage for that thigh. Okay. And then just sort of holding onto your chair, scoot so that you're on the front side. You know, the chair has a little hill on it, right? If you go to the back of the hill, you kind of slide into the back of the chair. So you're coming right to the front of the hill. If you weren't holding on, you might slide off the chair. So you just want to be on the front of the hill. Take your left foot out of the way a little bit. And now we're going to take the right knee and drop it in and out. Right? And as you drop that knee in and out, I want you to roll onto the inside of the foot and then the outside of the foot. Okay? So we're just going in and out. Now for most of us, it's going to be more challenging bringing the knee in than bringing the knee out. See if that's true for you, right? So the next time that you bring your knee in, I'm going to ask you to hold it here and see if you can push it in a little bit more. And breathe. And your whole foot is on the floor. The whole inside of your foot is on the floor. And then come back. Okay, so walk your right foot out a little bit. And your left foot is now straight here, right? So your right foot's just out of the way. And you're going in and out. So you're keeping your foot on the floor. In other words, I don't want you to come up on your toes. I don't want you to be on your heel. So when you bring the knee out, you're on the outside edge of your foot. When you bring your knee in, you're on the inside edge of your foot. And again, just kind of noticing, for most of us, it's going to be a little harder to go to that inward rotation than that outward rotation. The next time you're in, you're going to hold here and breathe. And you're really trying to push that knee down a little bit more, push it in a little bit more, sorry. Keep breathing. Good, and then relax that. Okay, so now you're going to bring your feet just a little bit wider than your hips. Still holding onto your chair, still on the front edge of your chair. We're going to be moving both legs at the same time, so this is when you could potentially slide off, so that's why I want you to hold. So you're going to go to the right, and as you go to the right, I want you to take your left hip, the front of your left hip, and push it forward. So you get a little twist here. So your left cheek comes off the chair. And then go to the left now and push with your right. So your right butt cheek comes off the chair. And then we're going to the left. So nice and slow. And if you want a little bit more, you can see I'm coming up on my toes. So the right hip presses forward. I'm going to rotate on that foot. So can you all see that? Okay, so I'm really rotating the hip all the way down to the toes. So you can see how our movements are a little more complex, right? We've gone from the toes to the ankle to the knee. Now we're in the hip, and we've even got some rotation happening in the knee here a little bit. Good. One more time on each side. Excellent. And then come back to center. So you can come to a place where you're not going to slide off your chair. And we're going to do a little rotation at the hip. So your hip is a ball and socket, and the ball comes from the top of your leg bone. So your leg bone is nice and long here. It goes from just above your knee to inside your hip, and at the top of that bone is this kind of ball shape piece of bone, and it fits into the socket of your pelvis, right? So we're just going to do some rotation here by taking the right leg, making a nice big circle up and around and back down, and then we're going to go to the left side and do the same thing. So up and around and down. Nice and slow. All right? You can hold on to your chair, and that helps you from leaning, right? So if I didn't hold on to my chair, maybe I would lean to one side. So I'm holding on to my chair so that I don't lean. And you're noticing that you're lifting, lowering, and then circling back in, yeah? Okay, last one, up and around and back down. Good. So we're going to do the same movement, but we're going to do it in the opposite way. So instead of lifting up and going around, we're going to go out and then lift and come back. So you're going to slide your right leg out, lift up, and come all the way back. Slide your left leg out, come up, and all the way back. Okay, right side. So it's making a nice big circle here. Breathing in and breathing out. So you're inhaling and exhaling, nice and smooth and round. So thinking about the breath being round, when I say that, I mean you breathe in, there's a little pause, and then you breathe out, and then there's a little pause, and then you breathe in, there's a little pause. So it's just this continuation of the breath. So one more time, up and around on each side. Good. And down. Great. Scoot over to the right side of your chair. So you're facing forward, holding on to the left side of your chair, and then using your heel and your toes on the right side, walk that foot out, and then walk that foot back. So we're just doing this little walk. So again, thinking about what am I doing in my body right now? This is a super complex movement. I'm going from my toes. There's movement in my toes. There's a lot of rotation and movement in my ankle. I can feel it in my knee. If you put your hand out here on your knee, you'll feel your knee is actually doing a little bit of rotating. Your hip is doing some rotating. Not to mention all of the tissue, the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, the blood vessels, the nerves, the fascia, everything from your hip all the way down is getting this nice kind of movement. So the next time your leg is out to the side, we're holding here. And as we're holding here, we're just kind of noticing. Foot is on the floor, flat on the floor, heel, toes on the floor. You're going to engage the muscles in the outside of this leg and the outside of the hip and pull your knee toward the back wall. So pull as hard as you can, your knee toward the back wall, and then relax it. And pull your knee toward the back wall and relax. So we'll do this a few times, right? So you're pulling that knee back. Keep the foot on the floor. Good. And the next time that you pull the knee toward the back wall, you're going to hold here and breathe. So you can really feel the glutes on that side activating and in that top part of the leg. So if you can stay right here, but if you can and you want a little bit more, you're just going to hold that knee pushing toward the back wall, and you're going to twist your upper body to the left a little bit. So don't let the knee follow you. Don't let it come forward, okay? Keep breathing. Excellent. One more breath in and out. And then slowly unwind. Relax that leg, heel and toe. We're going to walk it in, slide to the other side. Great. Let's do a little mobilization here. So heel and toe, walk it out, walk it in. So again, just kind of getting the ankle, the knee, the hip, those joints to all work together, because they're working together to get your foot out to the side. And as we're doing this, we're stretching all the tissue in there, and we're contracting some of the tissue in there. So we're working everything from muscles to blood vessels. Blood vessels are technically connective tissue, right? Because it connects your heart to your toes, right? Through the blood, through the circulatory system. Okay, next time your foot is out there, let's hold. Okay, So we got the foot out there, the body's facing forward, and what we're going to do is we're going to engage the muscles in the side of the hip on the left side, the side of the leg, and we're going to pull that knee toward the back wall, and then relax. And pull the knee toward the back wall, and relax. So if you're pulling and the inside of your foot is coming up, that means your foot isn't far back enough. So you need to walk it back more. If you're not getting anything, if you're way out here and you're not able to pull your knee back at all, you're too far back. So you got to come forward a little bit. So you want to be kind of in that sweet spot where you can pull your knee back but keep your foot on the floor. And we're just going to hold it now. So you're holding that foot out there and you're breathing. And you're feeling all the engagement of muscles in that in that left side. And as you're holding the knee in this position, you're just going to twist to the left with your upper body. I'm sorry, to the right. Yep. It's my left. You're right. Keep breathing. Great. And then slowly unwind from that. Relax that foot. We're going to walk it back in. Okay. Come back to the center of your chair. So getting a little more complex with some of our movements, right? So now we've got everything kind of warmed up from the toes all the way up. I'm going to have you turn your body to the left. And as you do, you want the whole back of your left leg on the chair. So you got to kind of slide your backside as far back as you can go. Now, it doesn't matter if your foot, that left foot, is touching the floor or not. If it doesn't touch the floor, it's fine. If it does touch the floor, I want you to have it directly under your knee. Okay, so you get the whole back of your leg on the chair, and you're going to hold on to the back of your chair with your left arm. So you're facing that wall, right? Your whole body is facing that wall. And you're going to slide your right butt cheek off the edge of the chair. So scoot over so your right butt cheek is kind of off the chair. And then we're just going to slide that foot back and forth, right? So that's the movement here. We're sliding back and forth. Now, as you slide that leg back, you're straightening the leg a little bit here. Try not to arch your back, right? So you don't want to do this. You want to tuck your pelvis under a little bit and slide that foot back and forth. And the next time that you have your leg slid back, you're going to hold here, right? So some people, the knee underneath the hip is about as much extension as they're going to get here, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Other people are going to get the leg way out here and maybe get the knee straighter, and that's fine too, right? So wherever you're at with that, I want you to make sure you can feel this in the front of the leg or the front of the hip, into the front of the low belly. Breathe in, breathe out. You can hold right here. If you want a little more of a stretch, take your right arm up overhead, reach up through your fingertips, reach out through your toes. Breathe. And with your next exhalation, you're going to slowly lower everything back down. And you're going to bend this knee so that your foot is directly under your hip. So when I look down, it's in the same line. Got that? So in other words, your right foot's not out here, it's not back here. It's just in line with your hip. Now, instead of going back and forth, we're going to go out to the side, stay on your toes, and rotate your knee in and your heel up. If you're not sure what I mean, you can look up here. So your knee is rotated in and your heel is rotated up, as opposed to this, right? That would be the opposite, because it's this internal rotation that is more challenging for most of us. So we're doing the more challenging thing, and then come back in. So we're going out and in, and as we do, we're trying to keep that knee rotated in a little bit. So we're really challenging the tissue around the hip. If you're someone who has tight hips, or you've had a hip replacement, or you've had hip surgery, this is one of those rotations that can be really good for you. So the foot is not going back behind you. The foot is going out to the side, straight out to the side. Okay, one more time with the foot straight out to the side. Can you hold here and breathe? Heel is lifted off the floor. Stay right here if this is enough. If you want a little bit more, You're going to lean into the back of your chair, take your right arm up past your ear like you're trying to reach the wall. So you're reaching out through your foot, you're reaching out through your fingers. I don't know about you, but I can feel that stretch. Breathe in, breathe out. And then slowly come all the way back. We're going to bend that knee, bring it back in, scoot your backside around. Let's come to the front for a moment. Close your eyes, take a couple of breaths. Just notice that right side and left side. Nice deep breath in, let it out with a sigh. Eyes can open. So you can see we get to more complex movement, right? As we've warmed things up, it's a lot easier to get into this position with the leg once I've done all the toe work, all the ankle work, the knee work, the hip work. Once I've got all that work done, it's a lot easier. If I try to get into that cold, like without warming things up, it's going to feel pretty tweaky in some spots, and it's not going to feel really good. So let's turn to the other side. What is that? The right. Yes. That would be the right. So the back of your right leg, the whole back of your right leg is on the chair now. So I want you to slide your backside to the other end of the chair. You're going to have your left hip hanging off the end, right? So you don't want your left hip to be, you don't want your left leg to be limited by the chair in any way. Hold on to the back of your chair with your right hand. We're going to take that left foot now and just slide it back and forth, right? That's it, just sliding that back and forth. Now, as you do, if you start to arch your low back, when you bring that foot back, I'm going to have you engage your belly muscles, tuck your tailbone under a little bit here, and then slide the foot back and forth. Good. Back and forth. And for some people, sliding it back and forth is not going to be very far back. Now, the next time you have your leg back behind you, you're going to hold here. Hold, 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 right? So if your knee is under your hip, that's great. If it's back behind your hip, that's great. You can stay right here. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, you're going to take your left arm up overhead, reach out through your fingers. So now we're reaching out through that left leg. We're reaching out through the fingers. You might feel this as a linear stretch somewhere, maybe in the front of the body. You might feel it as a sort of a spiral stretch in through the leg or the arm or the waist. One more breath in and out. And then slowly lower the arm. Let's bring that leg back in. Now I want you to have your foot in line with your hip. So if you look down, your heel and your hip should be in about the same line. And what we're going to do now, instead of going back with the leg, we're going to go out to the side. Stay up on your toes and rotate your knee in. Okay? Or rotate your hip in. That's it. Yep. And then come back in and out. So we're going in and out. And why are we going out to the side, right? Because Carrie wants the whole floor clean. Not just back and forth. That's right. We're doing a great job out there. Okay, next time your foot is out there, can you hold out there? Yeah? Okay, stay right here if this is enough. If you want a little more, lean into the back of your chair so you get some length in through the side of the body, and then take your arm out past your ear toward the wall behind you, almost like you could lift your hip up in the air, right? Breathe in, breathe out. This is a great stretch for the side of the body. It's a great stretch for your ribs, your arm. Kind of gets everything all together. And then slowly come back. Excellent. Bring that foot in. Let's turn around to the front. Whew. Close your eyes. Take a couple of breaths in and out. Just notice now. So we've worked all kinds of different joints in isolation, from the fingers to the toes. All those little joints. We worked the wrists and the ankles, the knees and the elbows, the shoulders and the hips. And we did some really complex movements. So as you're breathing in and out, just see if you can remember the feel of those complex movements we did with the arms, where we brought the arms out to the sides and we did the little spyglass thing, right? So that was a really complex movement. Or when we did the clock face. So the clock face is another really complex movement for the arm, for the shoulder, for the chest, and the back. And then the lower body, all the movements we did with the toes, the feet, the ankles. We did some movement with the knees and the hips, rotational movement, in and out movement. And we finished with a very complex movement of the legs in a split kind of position with the arms up overhead. And as you inhale and exhale, feel your body expanding and contracting. Feeling the benefit of all of that movement in your body. It may not seem like it's connected, but when we do things that open up from the toes to the hips or the fingers to the shoulders, we actually increase our ability to breathe more deeply. Let's take a nice deep breath in together, and we're going to hold it for a moment. And see if you can take in a little bit more breath. And now let it out with a sigh. Go back to your natural breath. The air just moves in and out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you all next time. You're welcome.